Hello, I'm Sugar, and I'll be your raid leader today. This is a basic guide to Stone Legion generals in Castle Nathria. This guide is meant to get you through Week 1. You will be facing Kaal and Grashaal in this 3-phase, 2-intermission encounter. Phase 1 starts with Kaal on the ground and Grashaal airborne. Tanks should face Kaal away from the raid, while all DPS and healers stack behind. This fight revolves around clearing the permanent bleeds left behind from the following mechanics. For the tanks, it's Serrated Swipe. For everyone else, it's Wicked Blade. To clear these bleeds, you will need to utilize the player who is debuffed with Crystallize. This should be dropped on the area marked with a diamond in the picture, which is slightly to the left of the boss and the raid group. You want to be close to the raid, but not standing directly on them, because it stuns when it expires. Players who have bleeds that need to be cleared should stand with the Crystallized player. Immediately after Crystallize, a Pulverizing Meteor is spawned. All available players should soak this to split the damage. Tanks should use Crystallize to remove the bleed stack from Serrated Swipe. Taunt swapping should be done around the timing of Crystallize. Wicked Blade targets should stand on star or circle, forming a triangle between Kaal and each other. Anyone hit will gain a bleed, so it's important to not be between these players and Kaal. Stone spikes from Grashaal will be slowing random players and can overlap with this mechanic. Do not hesitate to run out. Healers will need to stagger dispels on Heartrend and spot heal these players afterwards. A Stone Legion Goliath will also spawn throughout this phase. Cleave it down and hard switch to it at 20% because its Soul Taint Effigy cast will be reducing healing taken. At 50% HP, Kaal will cast Hardened Stone Form, reducing damage taken by 95%, and the first intermission phase will begin. Avoid any red swirly circles and begin collecting anima orbs from around the room. Deliver these orbs to Prince Renethal to increase his mana. Another Stone Legion Goliath will also appear in this phase. Kill this mob quickly because of Soul Taint Effigy and because it drops a big anima orb for Renethal. At 100% mana, Renethal will cast Shattering Blast, breaking the Hardened Stone form on the boss and knocking back all players. Make sure you are not going to be knocked off the edge or into other mechanics. Phase 2 begins after the Shattered Blast. Kaal will go airborne and Grashaal will be on the ground. Crystallize, Pulverizing Meteor, and Wicked Blade from Phase 1 are all still active mechanics. The raid can use the same positioning as before. Be aware that the Wicked Blade will now come from the front of the room where Kaal is in the air. The new ability for tanks in this phase is Stone Fists, physical damage that will knock you back. Position yourself so you will not be knocked off the platform and taunt around 2 stacks. For everyone else, Seismic Upheaval will mark players every 30 seconds. These players need to run out of the raid group and keep moving to avoid being hit. Next for the raid to deal with is Reverberating Eruption, a 2-part mechanic. The first part being an 8-yard circle that needs to be run out of the raid and dropped in an area away from other mechanics like Wicked Blade and cannot be overlapped with any other reverberating eruptions. The second half of the mechanic is Unstable Ground, which creates a zone of falling rocks. This unstable ground zone needs to be soaked every time Reverberating Eruption is cast. 1 player should soak per zone and watch for the debuff to drop before soaking again. Kaal will also be casting Ricocheting Shuriken at players throughout the fight. Healing through this should be possible, but if it becomes too difficult, spread out. When Grashaal reaches 50%, you will go through another intermission phase with Prince Renethal. Once that ends, you enter phase 3. Now you will have both Kaal and Grashaal on the ground. Positioning in this phase can be the same as previous. All mechanics from phase 1 and 2 are active and should be dealt with in the same ways. Kaal and Grashaal need to be burned down evenly to avoid one boss dying before the other. If that occurs, the remaining boss will be buffed with Soldier's Oath, increasing their damage dealt by 200%. Hero in this phase as it's the most complicated. Healers should make sure they have some raid-wide CDs available by the time this phase is reached. I hope going over these basics of the fight helps you as you adventure in Castle Nathria. Okay, bye!